Hello, good morning. This is Olu Subanjo. How are you guys doing? Yeah, it's another beautiful Tuesday morning. Today I want to talk about sales. I want to talk about sales today. If you're joining me live, if you're watching this live, say hashtag live. And if you're doing the replay, I always like to get the replay, hashtag replay all through the week. Yeah, so please do hashtag replay as you're watching this. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'd like you to like or just hit the subscribe button, just to be a part of, so that anytime I go get my emails out, my YouTube new videos out, you can always be first to know, and you can also share this with someone. Now today, if you're joining me live, I'd like to hear from you so that I can know that you're there with me. And if you can hear me, can you just say loud and clear or thumbs up or something, so I can know that you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so today, a lot of times I meet a lot of people that, have the idea that I want to make money. Most people would like to make starting from $1,000, on a side business, or they want to chat. Hey, loud and clear. Thank you very much, Patty. Yeah, so a lot of people want to make, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, and more monthly from a skill, but a lot of people are afraid to say that they are salespeople. Now, if you're watching this and you've actually, or maybe you are actually one of those that are afraid to call yourself a salesperson, because salespeople actually have that, feeling. Why don't you just like this right now, or say something so that I can know that, I'm not the only one that had this challenge, okay? Way back, I've always been in sales, for a long time. But way back, I used to, hear all these things about salespeople. Salespeople are, this, salespeople are that, and so a lot of times I'm afraid to actually identify myself as a salesperson until I realized that, come to think of it, we're all salespeople. If you've ever, just look at your day to day. I'm sure you've already convinced one person, whether it's your children or your husband or your relative or somebody, you've already, shared an idea with them. Now, doesn't mean that you convinced them, but you've already shared an idea with them. And people that sell are people that share ideas. Okay. And when you get to a point where you say to yourself, I want to turn one of the skills or experiences or, passion that I have into money, you actually have to begin to rearrange, rethink the way you think about the word salesperson. Because you actually, in order for you to actually be able to sell, you need to be able to see yourself as a salesperson. Now, there are ways of looking at this, that would make it easier for you to understand. And I'm going to be talking about that today. What are strategies, what are things that you can, begin to look at to be a good salesperson. I was just in a meeting, earlier before this, and one of the, it was in a church meeting, pastors meeting in my church, and one of the pastors, gave an experience. I don't even have the rights to this story, but I'm going to just share it anyways. So he had said that he went into an office to find out some questions about something, and when he entered into the office, he came back with, after having been paid, he had paid $2,000, to something that he was just trying to inquire about. Okay. Now, have you ever been in this kind of situation before, that, you're thinking you're just trying to understand it and you get sold? Okay. Now, if you've ever been in this situation, you're not abnormal. We've all been there, okay? To the point that, sometimes you even go to the store, and a salesperson comes beside you and is like, do you need any help? And you're like, no, 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 I'm just looking. Why? Because you don't want to be sold, right? Or you avoid contact with the salespeople. You just go window shop and you avoid contacts, right? And so we all think, the salespeople are actually evil. That's a very weird way of saying it, but and a very strong way of saying it. And if you agree with me, you can actually make some reactions so I can get, that you understand what I'm saying. But now, how can you, as a normal person, as a loving person, actually still now connect yourself as if as a salesperson and actually get something out? Because trust me, if you're not out there to sell your product, nobody else will sell it for you. Okay. And that's the difference between, having a job and having a business. Is you have to be the very first person that is selling your product to people. And so it's a must that you have to switch your mind from saying I'm not a salesperson to I am actually a salesperson. Now, there's a difference between being a salesperson that scares people away. Remember, my friend that I was sharing the story, and I was joking with him this morning that, I can imagine if you see someone that, that person that sold you a $2,000 program or product or whatever it was, when you see them, you actually run the other direction. Why? Because you're afraid they're going to sell you into something else soon. Okay. And that's not what you want. You don't want to, be in a situation where you make people, tie their hands and you say, sign here. Okay. Now we don't do that literally, but you can do that if, there's a way you can actually make people, convince people. And you think about it, even in your home, if you sell your children, even funny enough, even for Christians, a lot of us as Christians, we call it in the name of evangelism, we make people sign the dots, even though they've not decided to do it. You just say the word after me. Lord Jesus, I accept you as my Lord, and we do that to people as our friends. We do that to people, our children. We say, he's a born again Christian now, and we start to celebrate. That's not sales. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to present what you have and let the people that want what you have, let them receive it. Okay. And give them the freedom. Okay. In short, give them the time to think about it. Okay. And that way you're not convincing them to do anything. They are agreeing because they want what you're selling. Okay. There's a very big difference between that, between telling people what to do and sharing what you have with them. And there are ways, that you can, easily do this. Now, the very first point that I want to, and I'm going to be sharing 4 things that I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to be doing like a comparison. Okay. Now, the first one is pressure versus ask. Okay. It's either, the salesperson can go the route of pressuring people. Okay. You pressure them and you say, you really need to do this, and salespeople would use different strategies that would make people feel, oh, I feel bad if I don't do it. This is my friend. This is my family. This is people I know. And so you actually can pressure them, you can make them decide because of what you're saying. Now, there's a fine line between giving people details, giving people statistics, giving people, things that they need to know that would help their decision-making process. Okay. Now that is very good. Now, what you don't want to do is pressure them to making a decision, to buy your product. Okay. Like there are many products that people sell now that they will say, bring people to your living room and do a party. And, as much as those are great, it's also great to give people the opportunity to either say yes or no. Okay. And this is one thing that I would want everyone here to understand, that the fact that your product is very good, should give you, and this is what I do with my clients. I want to make sure that your products that you're offering to your clients is extremely good and would solve the problem that people have, but the idea, when you have a good product, you don't need to pressure people. You just need to tell them about it, and obviously give them statistics, give them, details that, some information that would make the experience, clear for them, and understand, how you help them and how you can, solve the problem for them. But really, you don't want to pressure them. What you want to do instead is you want to ask them, okay? Even the scripture says ask. Okay, so now after you've said, all of the things that your products can do for them and all that, you need to ask them, do you want this product? Do you want this? I remember one of the things that we used to do when I was in sales, actively in sales back in the days, where I would, the strategy was call 100 people every day. Okay, now that may sound really ridiculous, to some of you here, if you've not been in this, direct sales before, but if you're going to actually be able to, make that 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, you need to ask, okay? Not pressure, but ask, okay? And that 100 people, we pick up the phone and you start to call. What we're looking for, and it became a game actually at a point where, you're counting how many no's. Instead of counting the yeses that you're going to get, you're counting the number of no's that you're going to get. And when you begin to do that, it actually switches something off in your mind that you're not thinking, you're not stressed about it anymore. You're just looking for the next no. But then as you continue to get the next no, before you know it, you get your yes. Okay, so if you're there and you're, looking to sell your product, I want you to, stop thinking you need to pressure people to do it. And I tell you, go online, share your messages, post, and do all these things. And not because you want to pressure people to buy from you, but because you want to ask, I have this solution, do you want it? Okay, and the more no's that you get, the better, because soon you're going to get your yes. Okay. And then the next point number 2, after, you don't pressure people, but you ask, is you make it, instead of making it about you, you make it about them. Okay. So if a salesperson goes out, with the mindset of, oh my God, I need to close another sale. Okay. And I've been in the, on both sides before. Okay. Where I'm thinking I need to close the next sale. Who is going to be the next client? Who is going to be, and back in the day, if you pick up the phone and you're making the call and you're like, oh my God, Lord, I really wish this would be the person. The way you communicate with the person is going to give off, a message that makes the person feel pressured again. Okay. When you communicate something that you want, it clearly points to the person that this person is trying to sell me. Okay. Now, if it communicates what the person wants, they are the ones that would say, I think this person understands what I'm trying to, what I need. This person understands where I am. So as you begin to give off your marketing, and as you begin to, share your expertise, as you begin to do all these things, I want you to always ask yourself, this thing that I have put out here, is it about me or is it about them? Okay. Now, it's extremely important that it's about them. Okay. Now, if it's about you, you would see the psychology behind what you're saying is going to favor you. It's going to start from, what I want, what is going to be to me, and it's almost like counterintuitive, because what you really want is a sale, right? But really, you don't go at it as if, because we're spirit beings, right? When you go at it with a mindset of, I want another sale, it comes off even in your expressions and, as a spirit. The other day I was sitting down I was actually standing in front of my house, and I looked at the neighbor's house, and as soon as I looked at her, the neighbor, she looked at me, and I was like, isn't it very interesting that we were both connecting with each other, but we were not speaking, and I was like, it's very interesting that we're spiritual beings. It's very interesting that if you meet someone that you feel, you can know whether they like you or whether they're thinking good, it's very interesting. And that's the same with even in the sales world. If you're going at it with, I want the next sale, who is going to be, who am I going to get next? What's next? There's a desperation that comes off, from you, and you have to be careful. You have to tell yourself, nope, I'm going to put my needs down, And again, as a Christian, for me, what I want is I trust God for the next one, and so I don't go with a mindset of now. Okay. I want you to do exactly the same, where you actually say to yourself, I want to help this person. And that brings me to the next point, which is, do you go and sell or do you go and serve? Okay. Now, sell or serve, you decide. Now, definitely, instead of selling, you go serve the person. You say, how can I help this person? You already know that you have the solution. You already know that you've been through, whatever it is that you're selling. You most likely you've been there before. Okay. And you know how, you used to feel back in the days, or maybe you just understand, maybe you have a skill that, say you're doing PowerPoint for people, okay, PowerPoint presentation, and you're doing your PowerPoint presentation and you know how easy it is for you, but you know how hard it is for your clients. And so when you come in, you say, how can I use my solution to help this person? How can I communicate my service in a way that this person would be served and not sold to? Okay, so those are the two different things, that I want you to, pay attention to. Again, the first one is pressure or ask. The second one is let it be about you or about them. The third one is sell or serve. And the last one, which is now the one that determines who sells and who doesn't sell. Now, this one is the biggest one. And a lot of people, now there are many strategies, but I'm just picking this for. A lot of people are afraid to call themselves, salespeople because of the fear of, how is it going to be? What are people going to say? What if nobody buys? There's so many things. So, the fear that you have, which is the fear of the unknown. What are people going to say? What if it doesn't succeed? Okay. And then some other people would go in with, the half-mindedness, that makes them feel, let's see if it works. Maybe it will work. Okay. As against having a strategy that it definitely would work, because you've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do XYZ. You know that it's going to work. You actually learn the strategy that would make it work, and you put those strategies in place. Okay. Now, as much as, I'm saying, don't, pressure, but ask. Don't make it about you, but, make it about them. Don't sell, but serve. These are all strategies, okay? And there's a way, in each field and for each person that you're relating with, there's a strategy that would be behind every single, opportunity that you have. When as a salesperson, you start to ask yourself, what strategy do I need to put in place to make sure that all of these things that I'm, doing, all of these, strategies that I'm following would actually eventually lead to a sale? Okay. Because what you want is not just to, just to be busy. Okay. It's not, you don't want to just be busy and not get anything out of your activities. You want to have strategies in place that would, it's like looking at 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. If I have one of this and I have one of that, it gives me one of this. Now, if I don't have a clear understanding of what this should be and what this should be and what this should be, then before you know it, I would just be working. I would just be working. Okay. And that's when the fear now begins to come alive. Right? The fear begins to come alive because, there's a lot of things, a lot of the unknowns, a lot of, variables in relating with people, in relating, and in selling and in, designing your products and in all of these things. There are different variables that comes in. And this is why it's extremely important that the strategy that you're putting in place, you must know it clearly. There are many strategies. Some of them I just gave, but it's extremely important to ask yourself the question, what strategy must I put in place? Now, in your field, for example, you may need to, go in the field and understand what strategies are people using already to make sales. What strategies are people using already to introduce the message, okay, the product, okay? How are people doing the ask? Okay, is there a way to do it? I remember back in the days, we used to go to buy as a financial consultant back in the days. We used to go into golfing events. Okay, I didn't play golf. I learned a little bit, at the time, but I knew that the strategy to get people that were playing golf, which were the affluent people in the city, at the time, it's a strategy. I need to put it in place in my business. And what I would do is I would invest in being at an event where I can meet golfers, where I can connect with golfers. Okay. Now, when you play your cards very well, you actually find yourself there. You actually now learn, the way to mingle and connect to them. And how do you now get to a point where you actually now do the ask? Okay, so it's extremely important that you have a clear strategy that you want to have in place in order for your business to actually become a viable business. And again, today we're talking about, for those of you that are just joining, welcome. And today I'm talking about, are you a salesperson? Do you consider yourself as a salesperson? Now, if you don't consider yourself as a salesperson, you need to have a rethink, because it's only salespeople, people that are ready to sell, and people that are willing to share about their message and sell their products boldly, confidently, sell whatever it is that they feel is a solution that is for another person. Then you boldly go out there and you start to help people, you start to serve people, you start to help people. And 4 points that I shared today is, the pressure, versus ask. Okay, instead of pressuring people to buy from you, ask them, okay, if they want what you have. Okay, then the next one is do you make it about you, or do you make it about them? Make it about them. Okay, so that they would be drawn. If they want what you have, they'll be drawn to you, and not you pushing yourself and pressuring yourself, and pressuring them to buy from you. Then the third one is, do you sell or do you serve? Okay, instead of selling your product, serve the people and let them know about your product. Okay, and then the last one is fear versus strategy. So what you want is, you want to get rid of every fear, and actually use different strategies to bring your message, to the world that need it, and tell it to as many people as possible. And just to wrap up, I saw a statistics that says that 20% of the people are the ones that make 80% of the money. Okay, and it's not even about money alone, but 80%, 20% of the people in the community are the ones that are, even in organizations, it's just 20% of the people that are doing 80% of the work, right? 20% of the, salespeople in the world are top salespeople. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, am I going to be one of the 80%, or am I going to be one of the 20%? That are actually successful at selling my product? Okay, and it's a rethinking, mindset shift that has to happen. And usually, this 80%, this 20% that are on the top, they're usually not the ones that are complaining. They're usually not the ones that are on the fence. They're usually not the ones that are, just tired and worried and, fearful about everything. They're usually the ones that are determined, and they're like, you know what? Has someone else done it before? I'm going to do it. If someone else has done it before, I'm ready to do it. Okay. And that's what I want you to be. I want you to be one of those people, not the people that are still considering, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's try it. Let's see if it's going to work, because let's see if it's going to work. What it does is it makes you, as soon as you see a pressure, as soon as you see a challenge that comes, you say, you know what? I said it. People are not ready to buy from me. People are not interested in what I have. Nobody will even buy this. But it's not true. Is anybody out there selling what you have? Trust me, you can sell. And you can be one of those people that would be 20%, the top 20%. Even among the top 20%, you can tell yourself, I'm going to be one of the top 10% of that 20%. That's what I want to be, because I want you to, get out there. And I know in this group, and, if you're watching this, you have this, gift, you have this skill, you have this story, you have this experience, you have these things that you do so well that you can help other people with. Trust me, the people that need what you have, they really want you to get out there and actually help them. My clients, when I work with my clients are so grateful. Imagine if I now say to myself, you know what, I don't know if they're going to buy. I don't know if they're going to buy, Yeah, I don't want you to think that way. I want you to think God actually gave me this gift, or God actually helped me to be where I am today. I'm going to help other people to climb up. Okay, I'm going to help other people to get to where I am. Okay, so out of this four, or whatever it is that you've heard me say today, what action are you ready to take today or this week, okay, with regards to your business? What action are you ready to take with regards to your business? Please leave me a comment below, and I'll be very glad to support you and see how I can help you with this. And going for, from next week, I'm planning to do a series of training about different services that, you can take from 0 to 3,000 to 5,000 monthly. So if you have ideas that you want to know more about, you can put it in the comments for that one, and I'll be very glad to hear from you. Thank you for the heart, and then for the thumbs up, and then I'll be very glad to also ask. Again, don't forget, leave me a comment below on this one. What action are you planning to take this week as a result of this? Do you see yourself as a salesperson? Are you ready to start seeing yourself as a salesperson? Are you ready for the $3,000 to $5,000, that you can be making on this, from your business, that you're doing, whether on the side or full time, starting now. Okay. So leave me a comment. Again, thank you for joining me live. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Amaka, I think I forgot the name. Yeah, so I'm really glad that you joined me live. I can't see very clearly here because I'm in Ecamm. All right, so that's it. Thank you, and I'll see you around in the week. And God bless you. Have a great day and a great week. And feel free to share this if you're on YouTube and you're watching this. Feel free to share this with your friends. All right, you're very welcome, Patty. Thank you so much for being here with me. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.